Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert, riding solo here for this player props edition of the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Joel joined me to record on Monday night. So if you're looking for any full game, full series previews, take a look at that stream podcast from Monday night. Also, our stream from Friday night, where our more in-depth series previews for every series besides the Stars and Jets. So take a look at that. I'll be mentioning that a bit here, but if you want more in-depth stuff, why we're looking at certain things, definitely take a look at that. You can find those on the Hockey Gambling Podcast YouTube. You should already be subscribed there. Like and comment, do a like spikes, hit that bell as well so you know when we are going live. Going to try to do more of these earlier in the day player prop streams. I can get out on YouTube, get out in the podcast feed, but by 2-3 p.m., give you guys a few hours to listen for that night's games. So yeah, make sure you also are subscribed on Spotify, on Apple. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. We appreciate all of that. And of course, get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord, and follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. If you have any questions for me, I am on Twitter at rgilbertsop. You can reach out to me there, reach out to me on the Discord or wherever. But yeah, we got 2 games tonight. We got the Hurricanes Capitals kicking off in DC. And the night game will be the Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights. Both, every home team is the underdog in this series. To start at the very least, the Leafs, of course, are up 1-0. Have a slight favorite now in the series. I think they're at -125, as I last saw. But yeah, Vegas -105, Capitals +140, Jets +140. A lot of home dogs here, which could have some value here in the playoffs. And definitely going to be looking for more player props. You got fewer and fewer games and more attention on the NHL here. So wanted to give you guys some potential player props to look for tonight. Let me start sharing my screen and we can get into that here. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to start here with the Hurricanes and Capitals. The Hurricanes, slight favorites or decent favorites, -142, over 5.5 at -125. The season series, they split, both teams winning their games at home. Carolina 4-2 and 5-1, and Washington 3-1 and then 5-4 in a shootout on April 10th. I believe, a lot of things were decided by then, so not really going to read too much into that one, but good to see some high scoring hockey there. So that's always good. It's what you're rooting for when you have some props here. I'm going to start here with the points market. You see Ovi -190, Strome -185. That is something I'm looking at there. Dylan Strome to get a point -185. Stacking that with Ovi, his line mate, definitely not a bad option. DraftKings says here that only gets you to -165, which seems like a bad price. That's definitely a bad price. I know other books offer better. They are highly correlated, so it makes sense it's only down a little bit. But I know on Bet365, at the very least, you can probably get close to plus money. Let me check what it is over there right now. Both of those players are over -200 there. But, if you're looking just for individual props, yeah, Strome and Ovi get you to -105 on Bet365. I would recommend that point stack. But, just here, Strome, -185 on DraftKings is the best price on the market, up to -210, up to -196. He's been great for the Capitals this season, including in the playoffs. He now has an 8-game point streak, had 2 points in each of the final 2 games against Montreal, 3 points in that game 1 to open up the series, a point on every goal in that 3-2 overtime win, and head-to-head against Carolina. He's had a point in 8 of 9 meetings, only not getting one on December 20th this past season. But yeah, he's been great for the Capitals on the season, hitting at a 69% hit right there. So having a pretty nice season there. And this minus 185 implies odds of 64.9. So getting a little bit value, so to speak, there with Strome. The Hurricanes might be able to keep it low scoring, but Capitals power play has been clicking. They were there in Game 5 against Montreal, also in Game 1. So look for them. A lot of penalties called early in series. We saw that last night with the Maple Leafs and Panthers. So looking at Dylan Strome points, maybe Dylan Strome power play point too. Get to those later. Those are probably around plus 154, plus 160 for Ovi. Might look at some bigger prices there to get more of a return there. Let me check the Capitals lines, see if they still got Beauvillier on the top line. He's someone else I'm targeting. He is plus 165 to get a point, but more so, I'm looking at Anthony Beauvillier to get an assist if they have him here, plus 250, plus 270, plus 285s out there, plus 290 on Bet 365. He's been, picking up secondary assists, some primary assists out there, had an assist in the first 4 games against Montreal, so maybe even stack that with a Strome point, Ovi point, and Beauvillier point. That would probably be a pretty good payout. Let me see what that's paying off on Bet365 is plus 375, so, Beauvillier's under 2 to 1 to get a point. Add him to get a point to Ovi and Strome, and you get up to 375. So that's good way to get those odds up if you're looking for a higher payout. So yeah, attacking these top line guys for the Capitals. Strome, Ovi always a good bet. Beauvillier I think is still a little bit underappreciated there on the market. Same kind of thing, similar thing with Strome. He's minus 185 to get a point, but he's minus 110 here to get an assist. That has been how he's contributed primarily this season. Regular season, he had 29 goals and 53 assists in 82 games. 2 assists in Game 5, 3 assists there in Game 1. So a total of 7 assists in 5 games there against Montreal. So for that reason, maybe look for him to get 2 points as well at a plus 230. If the Capitals score, it's likely going to be that top line there with Strome, with Ovechkin. So 2 points for Strome, plus 230, 2 points for Ovi, plus 250, 2 assists for Strome, even plus 475. That's could be a decent payday there. He's done that quite a bit this season, especially as of late. So Strome had 3 assists and 2 assists last year against Carolina in the late in the regular season. So if it's a high scoring game, plus 475 is going to want a ticket you're going to want to have in your pocket there. Going down here a bit on the Capital side of things, you have Tom Wilson to get a point at minus 128. If you scroll down, you got to because the points here where you can go 1 plus 2 plus, it's available for a same game parlay. So you sometimes get worse odds there. But if you scroll down to the points over under, it goes from minus 140 to minus 142, I guess. I'm seeing minus 128 here on FanDuel. So shop around for that. He had a big impact in Montreal. He's net front on the power play, had 2 points in Game 5, points in 4 of the 5 games in the first round, and had a point in 56% of his games this season. So, minus 128, not a bad look there. But another guy at plus odds is going to be Connor McMichael, plus 105 to get a point, plus 112 on FanDuel if you shop around. Points in the final 4 games against Montreal. I believe he's playing on that second line with Dubois and Tom Wilson, also on the second power play unit if that unit ever gets out there. So getting plus odds on him to get a point. He's had a point in 54% of his games this year, so over half, and you're getting plus odds for him to do that again. And McMichael's shots on goal have been pretty good as well. You can get over 1.5 at minus 165, or you can get over 2.5 at plus 175. He had 3 or more shots in 4 of the 5 games against Montreal, including 4 shots in 2 of those games. So, 3 plus shots at plus 175. You have 4 plus at plus 430. Look for McMichael here at home to Carolina's going to be keying in on that top line. So the second line should have some scoring opportunities, some shooting opportunities. So, look at McMichael, look at Tom Wilson, look at maybe a point stack between those two. If you're looking on Bet365 here, that is where I found have the best point stack prices. You got Wilson at minus 145, and then McMichael takes that up to plus 225. So, second line, one on top power play unit, one on second power play unit. So don't love that. But even here on DraftKings, Wilson minus 140, McMichael plus 105 gets you to plus 178. So almost 50 cents better on Bet365. If DraftKings is all you have, I don't hate that. I guess you can go with it, but you want to have more shops, more outs when you're looking for stuff like this, especially player props. But every single market out there is definitely worth shopping around on. And then looking over at the Hurricane side of thing, Andrei Svechnikov was their leading goal scorer in the first round. You can get him to get 3 shots on goal at plus 105. It's showing minus 120 here, but if you scroll down to the shots on goal over under, you get plus 105. He had 9 shots on goal in game 5, 6 in game 4, 5 in game 1. 6 on game 4 was on the road. 2 in game 3 was on the road, so maybe a little bit wary of that. But 2 of the 4 meetings against Washington this year, 5 shots on goal, 3 shots on goal. Hurricanes love to fire the puck, so getting plus odds on that is a good look there as well. And Svechnikov to get a point is minus 120. He had a point in 4 or 5 games against the Devils, including 3 in game 4. Has a point in 4 of his last 6 meetings against the Capitals there. So Svechnikov's going to be another guy to watch here. Looks like might be able to step up because the Hurricanes definitely need someone to step up there, playing on that top line with Sebastian Aho and Jackson Blake. Blake is a sneaky option to get a point as well at plus 100 when you see Aho minus 180, Svechnikov minus 120. You got Blake there on that top line. He is also on the top power play unit with Svechnikov, Aho, Jarvis, and Ghost there. So get even money there for Blake to get a point and Aho to get a point. He stepped up big with the series clinching goal. 3 points in game 5, 2 in games 3 and 4, 1 in game 2. So he's been stepping up. And against the Capitals, he's had a point in 8 of 9 meetings, including 3 straight this season, the last 3. So minus 180 for 1 point, 2 points at plus 270 could be worth looking at. An Aho and Svechnikov stack get you to plus 136. Those guys should be in on some points together there. A 2-point stack, even Svechnikov 2 points and Aho 2 points get you to 10 to 1. So shop around for that because Bet365 definitely has a better price, but DraftKings 10 to 1, not too shabby there. Bet365 Aho and Svech 9 to 1. So some of these odds DraftKings does have better. So make sure you build those manually. Check what the prices are for those two top line guys there. Also for the Hurricanes, who we got here? We have Sean Walker, the defenseman, plus 120 for 2 shots on goal. Had 2 shots on goal in 3 straight games against the Devils. Had 4 shots on goal in game 1. I know Hurricanes piled on the shots in game 1 against the Devils. And against the Capitals this season with the Hurricanes, he had 2 or more shots on goal in all 4 games, and then 3, 6, and 3 in the final 3 meetings. So if you can get him to get 3 shots on goal at plus 340, if you want to do a little step ladder there, then 4 shots on goal plus 800, 5 shots on goal, 16 to 1. Not sure if he's going to be shooting that much, but I mean, Carolina loves going deep into overtime. Could give you some extra time there. He did have 5 shot attempts, 5, 4, 4, 7, and 7 in the 5 games against the Devils. So he has been shooting the puck a bit for the Hurricanes. And with the Hurricanes shooting the puck, I don't like giving this type of prop out very often, but a block shots could be worth looking at, especially for the Capitals in this series. Jacob Chikrin over 1.5 blocks is minus 162 here, minus 155 if you get the 2+. He had 2+ blocks in all 5 games against the Canadiens. He had 2 blocks in 3 of the 4 of his past 5 meetings against Carolina. Carolina loves shooting from wherever, and Chikrin can definitely get in front of the puck there. So I believe he plays on the penalty kill. So, should get some maybe not penalty kill, but she'll get some defensive time there on the top pair, playing 20 plus minutes a night. Maybe look at some other defensemen, look at their game logs. Maybe parlay a few of them if you think there's going to be a ton of block shots, because there usually are when the Hurricanes are firing at will from wherever, just trying to get pucks on net against Logan Thompson there. So yeah, that's all I got for this game. Aho, Strome, top guys there. Maybe some second line guys for the Capitals. Seth Jarvis I do like, but I did not realize he's on the third line. Not a bad line. Jarvis, Stahl, Martinook. Martinook and Stahl, both big game players, bigger players, can maybe get the puck to Jarvis. He's someone who definitely looks like he's going to be a big game player. Minus 165 for a point for him. He was decent in the first round for the Canes, so wouldn't mind looking at him as well. Right before we move on here to the second game, we are brought to you by Circa Resorts and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league. There's going to be 6 double king rooms for that. Hold their draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league, a reservation at the world's largest sports book with $500 beverage credit for the league, a 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. Contest duration is May 5th to June 30th. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA for details. And we're brought to you by Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval rating for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit 25 and get an Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And cannot forget about Underdog. Underdog just launched their new game, Ladders. Went up to 500 times watching your favorite players climb the ladder. Sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code HGP. And the late game here tonight on Tuesday, we have the Edmonton Oilers plus 114 at the Vegas Golden Knights minus 135. Do have an over here of 6.5 at minus 122. So odds makers expecting a higher scoring game here, and I can't really blame them with Cal Pickard in net for the Oilers. He's gonna have to come back down to earth at some point. And in Vegas, Aiden Hill had a few bad games to start the series against Minnesota, settled in late, but Edmonton's always a team that's going to be high scoring and force these defensive teams into high scoring games like the Kings. Kings were a low scoring team all season long, and 5 of those 6 games went over the total. Some of them, a few 10, 11 goal games there. So plenty of opportunities here for props when you're looking at the Oilers. Of course, you got to start with Connor McDavid. I know DraftKings has a SGP X bonus here with a minus 250 odds per leg, and you can get Connor McDavid for 1 assist at minus 230 at DraftKings. That's over minus 250 elsewhere, as high as minus 265 on FanDuel. If the Oilers score, if the Oilers do anything, Connor McDavid is going to be involved. I am a bit wary of laying too much on this as a single. The Golden Knights have been able to keep McDavid in check recently. 5 meetings against them since November 20th of 2023. He only has 3 assists, and 2 came in that game in 2023. So since February of 24, he only has 1 assist against the Knights in 4 games, but playoffs are a completely different animal. He has assists in 4 straight games there against the Kings, a few 2-assist games, so you can get 2 assists at plus 190. But if you're looking for a safe-ish leg here, I think, McDavid to get an assist. He got an assist in 9 of his past 10, 18 of his past 20 games, 71% of his games this season. So he's going to be on a mission, and Golden Knights don't take a ton of penalties, but if they do take a penalty, Edmonton is going to take advantage there. They don't. Kaprizov and Boldy kind of took advantage of Vegas, even at 5-on-5. So we'll have to see how they manage with McDavid and Draisaitl if they're ever on the ice together. For those guys to get a point, McDavid minus 380, Draisaitl minus 285. Even if you stack them, you somehow get to minus 300, despite Draisaitl himself being minus 285. That's interesting calculations there by the DraftKings same game parlay calculator. But that's how they get you. That's how the books get you sometimes. Is you're not paying attention. Put those two in there on Bet365. McDavid, Draisaitl, 1 point each is minus 225. So not going to recommend a point stack at that high of a price, but if you're into that type of stuff, I'm not going to judge you. Corey Perry is playing on that top line with them. Not on the top power play unit as of now, but second power play unit, going to be in front of the net. So Corey Perry going to be doing his little worm act in front, maybe getting some goals there. So keep an eye out for him this series. I do have some bets on him to get 2 goals and 3 goals. DraftKings has corrected those markets, unfortunately, but hopefully he comes through for us there. Also on Edmonton's side, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's been up and down in these playoffs, but he finished there strong against the Kings, points in 4 straight, all 4 wins by the Oilers, including 2 points there in the series clinching game 6, and against the Knights, he had 3 points in his last 2 games this season. So much like how Carolina is going to be focused on Washington's top line, it's going to be even more so Vegas on Edmonton's top line. Could maybe see the Kane, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman line getting some action there, getting on the scoreboard. And Evander Kane has been great. Later on in this series, got his feet wet there in game 2, but game 3, game 4, he's been shooting the puck. You can get 3 shots at plus 110 for Kane. Kane to get a point is going to be down here at plus 145. Maybe if you do a Kane, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman stack for the second line, you get 465. So play around with those. I do expect a high scoring game. I don't think Vegas will be able to contain Edmonton. Hopefully they can, but the refs like to kind of open things up, have a lot of power plays going on. So definitely another market to look at here will be the power play points. McDavid is plus 145. Eichel's plus 145. Draisaitl there as well. Looking on Edmonton's side of things, don't hate Bouchard, a plus 280. He's been firing the puck a lot. Nugent Hopkins plus 325. And then who else in the top unit? You got Zach Hyman. Is he even offered here? Zach Hyman plus 650 power play point might be an automatic bet there because Daily Faceoff is showing him on the top unit. You have Draisaitl and McDavid at plus 145, and you're getting 4 or 5 times that for Zach Hyman. So as long as that's correct, and we'll look more into that on Twitter right now. Actually, make sure Oilers power play. Let me make sure that's no update there. But I do see here Shifley and Morrissey and Logan Stanley skate in non-contact sweaters at Jets practice. So not great news for the Jets, but at least they're on the ice. But yeah, here for Edmonton, look for these power play points. Plus 650 seems kind of crazy for Hyman. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me do a quick check on this odds comparison app here. Power play point for Zach Hyman is going to be plus 650 is the highest one. Did not have a power play point for quite a bit, and then had one in game 6 against the Kings. So don't stake too much on it, but at a plus 650, I don't think you can go too wrong given how Draisaitl and McDavid are looking there. What else I got here on Edmonton's side of things? I think that might be it. Had more for the first game. Looking here at the late game on Vegas, Jack Eichel, he turned it on there late in the series. 3 shots on goal is minus 175. 4 shots on goal is plus 125. 3 plus is minus 200, but over 2.5 is minus 175. So 25 cents there just for scrolling down a bit, checking the app out. So had a slow start to the series. Only 2 shots on goal game 1, none in game 2, but then 3, 6, 5, and 3. She shot a temp shot way up as well, from 2 to 6, 8, 13, 7, and 7 in the final 2 games of that series, and had 5 shots on goal in one of the games against Edmonton this year, 3 or more in 3 of his past 5 games. So, maybe wait a game to see on Eichel, see how they're attacking the Oilers here, but don't hate that as a potential parlay leg. Another thing here is going to be Noah Hannafin to have 2 shots on goal. You see that down here at minus 162 or minus 170 if you want to pay 8 more cents for some reason. He had a bunch of high shot totals against the Wild 5, 5, 4, 2, but then also a 0 and 1 to bookend that series. So if you look at Hannafin, I might just look at it over 2.5, look at it over 3.5 at plus 185, plus 460 to get 5 shots on goal, which he did twice against Minnesota, is plus 850. He is playing on the third pair, but could be firing a bunch of pucks on net. If you're looking at for these high price props, I feel like in these games you want to watch the game, put maybe I've seen some shots on goal parlays out there, especially when these games go into overtime. They're gonna rack up the shots. So looking at Hannafin, Eichel shots on goal. Maybe look at an Eichel assist. What is that here at DraftKings? Minus 135. Him and Stone have been connecting quite a bit. So if you get Eichel minus 230, Stone minus 175, get you to minus 170. I really do not understand this DraftKings same game parlay calculator on 365 to get you to minus 105. Eichel and Stone to both have 2 points plus 525. So look at that for the Golden Knights. They're still trying to figure out who is going to be fitting best on that top line. William Karlsson looks like the answer for now. So if you want to Eichel, Stone, and Karlsson point stack, that's plus 275. And you got Brendan Saad, Tomas Hertl, and Keegan Kolasar on the second line there. Looks like Pavel Dorofeyev will be out, or at the very least, a game time decision. He is someone that I love betting his shots on goal props, though, especially at home. He loves firing the puck. So if he is in, I would definitely look at some Pavel Dorofeyev shots on goal, and then a few block shots props here. Zach Whitecloud to have 2 shot blocks is minus 105. He had 2 blocks in 5 of 6 games against the Wild, including all 3 home games and the 3 most recent games. So just even money there. Not a bad look. And then Braden McNabb under 2.5 blocks. He did not have 3 blocks in any of the final 5 games against the Wild. Had 6 in game 1, but I don't know if he's maybe got a little bit hurt or whatnot there, or maybe just regression. And looking at how shots on goal, block shots against the Kings in the first round there, a lot of them went under 1.5. So under 2.5 for McNabb, minus 154, minus 145 is out there, is something I wouldn't mind looking at there as well. All right, we are also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and MLB prop market with Rhythm. Building your own model is simple and easy. Rhythm knows you'll love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on now. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgambling.com/rhythm. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the playoffs, plus props for every game. For the true DJs, the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, going to look here at some Conn Smythe odds in a second. All right, yeah, look at the Conn Smythe market here. The site finally has the odds comparisons. You can not have to shop around manually. There's you can see the favorite here still is McDavid between 750 and 950. Rantanen between 9-1 and 13-1. Draisaitl 15, Aho 16, Ottinger 16. But really, right now, there's 8 teams left. Unless you're set on one of these teams winning the cup, and that team has an obvious Conn Smythe candidate, like Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel 19-1, I would still take that. Down to 12-1, probably not. 16-1, 14-1, maybe, because if Vegas wins the cup, I mean, I know Jonathan Marchessault won the last time they won the cup. He had an incredible Western Conference final and Stanley Cup final, though. But I mean, if you look at the Stanley Cup odds, you have Vegas is at plus 750. You're getting 2.5 times that for Jack Eichel here. And that their next favored guy is Tomas Hertl, and he's at 35-1. Don't hate that, but he would really have to step up. Stone 40-1. And then Aiden Hill, I mean, goalies could potentially get it 120-1 for Aiden Hill. If he throws up a few shutouts in the Stanley Cup final, maybe that's worth throwing a few bucks on. But Eichel's going to be the guy for Vegas now. Going backwards here, looking at Edmonton. What are they for the cup? They're 6-1 for the cup. McDavid's plus 950. McDavid won it last year while losing the cup. So if you want to take him at plus 950, if you think they're getting past the Golden Knights, I can't fault you for that, because if they make the Western Conference final, that's coming down to probably 5-1, if not less there. So McDavid plus 950, Draisaitl 15-1. Maybe if he picks up the goal scoring, but besides those two, you'd really need something incredible to happen. I don't even know who's going to be next here for the Golden Knights, or for the Oilers, because you don't even have the goalie. You can't count on Pickard starting the rest of the way. Can't count on Skinner starting the rest of the way. Bouchard 190. No, that's it's McDavid or nothing for the Oilers. Looking at the Hurricanes, you got Aho 16-1. Don't love that, but he is the obvious choice. Let me check what's their point situation currently. Looking for Carolina. Aho had 8 points, 3 goals. Svechnikov 6 points, 5 goals. Jarvis 5 points, 2 goals there. So I guess Aho is the rightful favorite at 16-1, especially with Freddie Anderson being hurt and Kochekov not playing well. But I mean, Svechnikov 45-1. Like, I don't hate that. That's not a bad price. He had 5 goals in the first round. If he keeps that heater going, that price is going to come down. Already down to 30-1, 27-1 elsewhere. Jarvis is an interesting name, but 33-1. That's a bad price. So if you want a Canes guy, Aho at 16-1, I guess would be fine, but I wouldn't bet that myself. I'd bet Svechnikov at 45-1. Their odds for the cup currently are 5-1. So market always loves the Canes, though. Market loves the Canes no matter what. Always loving the Canes there. But I need to see it before I believe it. So I don't have any Canes Conn Smythe. I don't believe, and don't really plan on adding any. And Capitals here. I think whoever wins this series loses to whoever wins the Atlantic final between Toronto and Florida. But if you're a Capitals fan, if you want some Capitals tickets in your pocket, Ovi 30-1 would have to be the option. They're 11-1 to win the cup. You got Ovi at 30, Strome at 34. I can't really see a world where Strome gets it as long as Ovi is healthy. That's not going to happen. Logan Thompson 40-1. Goalies can always get hot going a run, but I don't really see that happening, and that's really all I could potentially see for the Capitals. So yeah, if you're a Capitals fan, you want to take it there, Ovi, whatever. I'm not gonna tell you not to. I wouldn't do it myself, but there's worse bets out there. And then let's look at Florida. We have Bob is still going to be the favorite. Bob's a favorite at some books, but Barkov 28-1, Kachuk 30-1. That's a fairly similar price across the board. Then you got the other guys that you could look at here. You got Sam Reinhart at 40-1. I mentioned Sam Bennett last night, but looking at his reputation around the league after his play with Stolars, he's not getting any votes for the Conn Smythe. Bob, though, I mean, look at this price disparity. You got 22-1, 23-1, then 45-1, and 50-1. We talked about it last night. His save percentage looks awful right now, 887. so probably won't have a great stat to look at there. But if they make the Cup final, he's going to be, probably 10-1 or fewer. So if you want to have a 50-1 ticket in your pocket, cannot fault you there. I guess for my money though, right now, I'd probably go Reinhardt at 40-1. Maybe over Hagee at 150-1. He could go on a Marchessault type run there for the Cats. Kachuk doesn't look like himself. Barkov, was injured late in the season. You got Bennett, Kachuk, Reinhardt, Lusterheinen, Lundell, and Marchand all tied with 6 points for the Cats. And then Bennett has 4 goals. Schmidt and Kachuk each have 3. So it's really still completely up in the air for the Panthers. Their Conn Smythe. So if you want a Bennett 150-1 for Hagee 150-1, now's the time to get it, because I think they take game 2. These odds come down quite a bit. I think if they take game 2, go back home, tied 1-1. So now is the time before puck drop on Wednesday to bet those Panthers. If I had to place a bet on one Panther, I think it will be Reinhardt right now at 40-1, or Verhaeghe at 150, depending on what type of price you're looking for. The Leafs, another interesting team here to look at. William Nylander is hot right now, but the first 2 rounds don't really matter too much when it comes to Conn Smythe voting. It's factored in, but very heavily weighted towards the Stanley Cup final, and even the conference final is big for them. So I'd wait on Willie 28-1. I would really wait on all these Leafs guys, because I don't think they're going up 2-0 in the series. But if you're a Leafs fan, if whatever you want here, Nylander 28-1, Matthews 30-1. He has 7 points. Only 2 goals. Had the big goal in Game 6 against Ottawa. I see that coming up. Matthew Nyes could be an interesting price to look at. 250-1. He's 100-1 elsewhere. I don't hate that ticket. He has 4 goals, has some big goals. He could go on a goal scoring run down the stretch. He seems to be a power forward guy that's going to thrive here in playoff hockey. Marner's at 34-1. That's fine. That's whatever. And then Tavares, between his 50, 60, 60, and then 120. So you have an off-market price there. I'd attack that right now. You have some value there, right from just a top-down approach there for the Leafs. I did like Stolarz before he got knocked out of the game last night. He's still at 45-1. And Joseph Wall is between 75 and 100-1. But I do think one of those forwards probably ends up getting it now if the Leafs win the Cup. And then looking here at the Stars, Rantanen 13-1. That's an overreaction. Ottinger at 16-1. I don't think he can get it, but I mean, he's a 911 save percentage. He's looked pretty good. He stepped up after a few shaky performances there, especially last year, a few years ago in the playoffs too. He hasn't really shown that he's been great for the Stars, but he had a good showing in round 1. Rantanen 12 points, Hintz 7, Johnston 7. Those are really the 3 guys to look at. But Rantanen 13-1, and you have Hintz down there at 50-1, and Johnston at 35-1. So Hintz probably my best attack right there now for the Stars. Where's Jason Robertson at? 150-1 for Robertson. Not sure if the voters will give him votes if he doesn't play, at least starting in game 1 or game 2 of this series. Same thing with Heiskanen. I mean, he's got 110, 125, 150, and then 300. So top down. I mean, throw a dollar on it. There's definitely worse options to bet there with the Stars. But I guess right now I'd probably go with Hintz. 50-1. I think that's probably the best value for Dallas. And then the Jets, Hellebuck right here, 45-1. He's as low as 25 and 22. We've been clowning on him all series long. 830 save percentage. Not sure if he can recover from that, but the voters, national media seems to love him for some reason. If the Jets win the Cup, it's going to take him locking in and winning it all to win it all. So, I mean, Kyle Connor has been good there as well at 27-1, but I think I'd rather just take Hellebuck, because their path is just with Hellebuck stepping up. So Connor, not a bad option, but Scheifele out, with Scheifele and Morrissey both questionable for game one, with after the long double overtime. I just don't see the Jets taking this series there. All right, that's about gonna do it here. I got player props for both Tuesday games. Got the Conn Smythe targets as of now. Should be live on Wednesday, back with Joel around 6 p.m. Eastern, around there, give or take. Try to keep you guys updated on Twitter at HockeySGPN, on the YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe there, ring the bell so you get notifications when we are going live. Like and comment, and of course, rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Yeah, and I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.